What's up, everyone? Champets back again for another UFC predictions video. This time for an unexpected change for UFC 311. It's not Islam Makhachev versus Arman Sarukian. It's Islam Makhachev versus Renato Moicano. Insane. I'm glad I recorded this late because, wow. With the UFC, you never know. And Arman got an injury on his back when weight cutting and sadly not able to make the fight. And I was so excited for that fight. That was the fight I was most hyped for. Had a bet on it. I was going to be on the Arman Sarukian side, but not anymore. Arman's not in the fight. Yeah, now Moicano steps in on short notice. Was already on this card fighting Beneil Dariush. He talked in the video saying, "Oh, I trained for 5 rounds, stuff like that." So I guess he's sort of ready for this opportunity. Trained with Southpaws. We'll get into that. But yeah, first I want to recap last week really quickly. If I can pull it up, right there. Pretty good last week for me, betting wise. I could talk about a lot of the ones I've ended up betting. Fatima Klein, that was my biggest bet of the card. I got in early on that line, minus 225. Very happy with that line on Bet Online. And I got in it quick because I knew Fatima Klein's going to smash Dudikova. Exactly what happened. I think she's the one. She's got a very great future at 115. She's top 15 already. She's gonna like beat a bunch of these girls, and I parlayed her a bunch when I've had the chance to. Yeah, I'm gonna go quick because I want to talk about this card. Ernesta Carrasqueta, I believe, is the next one up. I thought she would go ahead and do whatever she wanted with Kalari. I think that was the case. I thought she won 30-27, 29-28 at worst. But I don't know how the judge gave it to Kalari. I don't know how you can give her 2 rounds. Pretty insane to me. But Ernesta, great job. Look good. Takedown defense is very solid. Her ground game has improved a lot. And yeah, being super tall and lanky for that weight class helps her a lot. Kalari really should be at 115, but a lot of muscle. Next fight up, I had a bet on, I believe, was Thiago Moises. I thought he was going to be, it's a level fight where Moises would be able to win that fight. Like there's a level above Moises that he's not going to win. Level below, he's just going to win. I think that fight kind of epitomized it. Although round 1 was pretty sketchy because he got his leg kind of beat up and he got volume, but able to get takedowns, able to do good. So props to Moises. He did what he needed to do. The next bet on this card was Uros Medic. I put 2 units on it. So sad. He got caught right away by Soriano. Didn't really have a chance to get started. Just how it is. Yeah, Soriano's got great power. Always a real possibility. Not that I can really do about it. So, yeah. Be better with defense, I guess, Uros. Next bet on the card I had Abdulrazak Al Hassan. I mean, he was looking amazing. I'd bet it again. I'm happily gonna bet against Cesar Almeida most of the time. Most of the time I'm gonna be against him. So I do it again. He was beating up Cesar Almeida, got a knockdown, landing big, but got careless. As a result, got caught. Is what it is. At those odds, I can't be too mad. So I'm just gonna go really quickly through my picks of that event. Share screen. Here we go. So I went 9-14. It's cool. Nothing crazy. Aliev beating Joe Selecki. It's about what you expected. Although I wasn't expecting Selecki to have as much success as he did. And like, I was expecting nothing from really Selecki other than like some sub attempts. He was able to get Aliev down and do some good ground and pound and end the fight, but it was too little too late. Aliev did too much, landing probably the bigger shots on the feet. Although Selecki had better volume. Yeah. I'm not crazy about Aliev. When I had a good amount of money on him against Yanel Ashwuz. But that fight got called off, and I was like, I sort of afraid of Alia versus Selecki. He did enough to get it done, but he's still pretty raw. He needs a lot of time to work and get better. Already talked about Fatima. I thought she got a finish, like a submission. Round 3 was round 2 KO. Bruno Lopez beating Magomed Gaziasulov. My God, this was horrible. I thought Gaziasulov would be able to beat this guy. He can't even beat him. Like, that was rough. Got outgrinded by Bruno Lopez. That's really the main takeaway. Talked about that one. Jacoby Smith. I thought he wouldn't be able to get Preston Parsons out of there quickly as he did, and boy, he did. What a crazy KO. I was thinking Parsons would be able to just really just try and hang on to survive, and like, okay, I'm gonna push him in round three and try to win like that and just survive the early rounds. Not really what happened. They went swinging pretty early on, and Jacoby caught him. Great win by Jacoby Smith. He's a real prospect at 170. Talked about that fight. Tulio versus Poteria. I mean, Tulio landed a big shot on Ihor, put him out. Not much more to say. He was a big favorite. I was expected to win. Felipe Bunez beats Josie Johnson. Man, I'm glad I ended up going with this. The ground, I knew Bunez would be able to get takedowns. He sure did, and I thought his ground game would be good enough to get us up. That's exactly what happened. So, yeah. Talked about that one. Oopsies. I don't know why my mouse does that. Christian Rodriguez. I went with Christian Rodriguez. I felt like I was on an island. Most people were on Austin Bashi this week. I live bet Christian Rodriguez, and like midway through round 1, I was like, okay, if Rodriguez is having success round 1, this is not going to be going well for Bashi, because it gets worse. And yeah, I thought C-Rod won all 3 rounds, arguably 2-1 because Bashi round 2, but I thought he won rounds 1, 2, and 3 because of damage. Beautiful time knees. C-Rod's that dude. He's really good. He beats the prospects with 0. Christian Rodriguez versus Ilia Topuria. Take that 0. Yeah, great one by Christian Rodriguez. Yeah. Chris Curtis beats Kopylov. Oh my God! What? No, he didn't. Kopylov beats Curtis. What a fight! This is a great fight. Fight of night, well deserved. Really shouldn't have been finished, but I'm not gonna complain that much. Man, Kopylov did a good job of keeping his distance. Although Chris Curtis was able to find his shots many times through, but man, Kopylov was able to find big shots, and he started to hurt Chris Curtis pretty bad as the fight went on. This dude is such a good striker. It did feel like he was taking off round 2. It didn't really feel that way live. When I was watching live, I was like, oh my God, he's gassing. Oh my God, no way. No, he looked pretty good round 3. So I think he was taking his time with his gas tank. He's like, okay, I'm not going to go crazy with it. I'm going to save myself around 3 to go ham. And he absolutely did. Beautiful head kick. I wouldn't have stopped the fight with Mark Smith. With the ref like that, you never know. Already talked about that one. Ponzinibbio, Carlson Harris. Oh my God, Carlson Harris is doing so good. He knocked down Ponzi round 1. If that round 1 goes a little longer, I think he probably gets him out of there. Alas, it's not meant to be. Ponzi's able to get momentum back, 1-1 going into round 3, and then landing big shots. Big shots on Carlson Harris. I thought he was still there. I didn't think it was the best stoppage, but it was not the worst one either, because he was hurt pretty bad, so I can't even be like that mad. Yeah, good one by Ponzi. He's washed, though. The sad part is he's washed, and there's no getting around it. I'm very saddened by this. And Mackenzie Dern beats Amanda Hebas. Yeah, Mackenzie Dern's definitely improved since their last outing between Hebas. Just amazing jiu-jitsu. Able to find the armbar. Was it an armbar? It was an armbar. Hebas tapped right away because it's deep end. It's not like she could really do much about it. You can't let that position go to someone as good as Mackenzie Dern for as long as it goes. Yeah, Mackenzie Dern looked pretty good in another 5-rounder. So props to her. Yeah. Now let's get into Makhachev versus Moicano. Crazy enough. I realized I picked a bunch of fights before. I was like, wait, what am I doing? Why am I picking fights? So I'm sorry about that ahead of time. So I'm gonna do this like this for at least the foreseeable future, because I didn't mean to do that. But I'll reveal my pick pretty shortly for each fight. Tigir Limbekov versus Clayton Carpenter. You know what? I like the dog. Give me Clayton Carpenter win a decision. I think Clayton Carpenter has a good chance to win this fight. I was hoping that Tigir would miss weight, and I feel a lot better about it. He didn't miss weight, but I still think Clayton Carpenter's live. I think the pressure Clayton Carpenter is going to bring, I think is going to be huge for him here, and I think that's going to be the difference maker. Tigir looked pretty all right in the scale, although he is sucked out, and I don't think he's long for this weight class. He shouldn't be long for this weight class for his own sake. Clayton Carpenter does have hands. I think Clayton Carpenter does have enough good wrestling and jiu-jitsu to be able to push Tigir into those later rounds and win rounds 2 and 3 and win the fight. I think I got belief in that, and maybe even get a late finish. I think Clayton Carpenter can absolutely get this done. This is a big step up. There's no denying that. This is a big step up, but I think Clayton Carpenter is ready for this. It's about time he gets a step up, and this is his time to show himself how good he is. I think he's going to show up and show out. I'm going to have probably a bet on this. I waited till weigh-ins to put a bet on it. Glad I did. Odds went back up now after weigh-ins. Yeah, I think Clayton Carpenter is going to win this fight, and I'm probably going to have probably a unit. Only a unit on Clayton Carpenter. Ricky Turcios for Sopaj. I'm going crazy. I'm willing to go crazy on this one. I'm going Ricky Turcios. I think. I mean, this is a hot take. I get it. I'm not looking to probably bet Ricky Turcios money line. I'm definitely not looking to bet Sopaj. I think plus 3.5. Let me check Bovada on that. Pretty okay odds. Minus 115. I'm hoping for a little better than that. But I think Ricky Turcios wins round 3 at a pretty high clip. It's just about, does he get finished early on by Sopaj? Sopaj can land. He can land pretty tough. But Ricky's a tough son of a gun himself. I was pretty, maybe not pretty confident, but I was going with Sopaj the last time they were fighting in the Apex. But now, in front of a live crowd, I feel like Ricky's going to thrive in that atmosphere when they're cheering for him. Unlike last time, he was getting cheered against as a Raul Rosas Jr. And he's looking really good in that fight. He won round 1. Don't forget. And I think he's the kind of guy to thrive off that atmosphere. And I think he's... And I do want to mention this, because a lot of people mention that Amon's a hobby fight with Ricky Turcios. He looked awful that fight. He looked horrible. But he's not fought... that's the only time he's ever fought like that. I was like, when I was watching that fight, I was like, what the hell is this, Ricky? This is not you. This is not the Ricky Turcios I watched on The Ultimate Fighter. And I watch in every other UFC fight of his. Even before that, against Brady Heistan. This guy usually goes to war and brings war. It's like, let's freaking go. And that was the weirdest fight ever. I don't consider that, that's, just forget about it. I consider everything else. I still think Ricky Turcios is really good. Maybe not really good. He's pretty good. He's pretty good. He's underrated. I like that he went to Team Alpha Male. And I like that he's training there and did some of his camp there. I think that's a good addition for him into his camp. Training with better training partners. Ricky Turcios can scramble for days. Sopaj, didn't look so... I mean, I shouldn't say that. No, that's not true. His gas tank didn't look so great in his last fight. I know it's short notice, but he was preparing for a fight, to be fair. To that. But the problem is... He's a little low volume. Ricky Turcios is going to make him work. So, Sopaj is definitely live for a finish early on. Wouldn't be surprised if he banks round 1. But Turcios is not going to be an easy out. He's not going to be an easy out at all. Give me Ricky Turcios. Give me the big dog. I'm willing to take a shot on it. If I bet on him, I'm probably going to go with I'm gonna go with like plus 3.5, something like that. I'd feel better about that than just the money line. If I go money, I literally put like $1 on it, just for fun's sakes. But yeah. Next we have the card, Rinya Nakamura. I'm actually gonna change this. I'm gonna say round 2 KO. I like Rinya Nakamura to win this fight. I think he's gonna cruise through this, and I think he finds a finish here. I think he can absolutely finish Gafarov. Just the wrestling difference is too much. Rinya Nakamura, I think, is due for a finish. He's been getting decisions in his last few. He can absolutely finish Gafarov. Got taken down multiple times by Kang. Nakamura is a lot better of a wrestler than even Kang is. Great veteran, and shout out to him. Not in the UFC anymore. Great career. Respect. I would be. I'm a little worried because of Gafarov on the feet. I am a little worried. I won't lie. I mean, and like Rinya is a little crazy on the feet, but I think he's gonna be able to ground and pound the Gafarov by taking it to the ground. I think he'll fight smart enough to be able to do that. Give me Rinya Nakamura. I think he cruises here. Now I'll probably be looking to bet his inside the distance, so I think that's pretty good odds, and maybe minus 5.5. Minus 5.5 is probably pretty good too. So, like spread. Next fight up the card, Cara Rosa versus Eileen Perez. I'm going to change this too after doing more research. Give me Cara Rosa by finish round 3. This sounds crazy. Hear me out though. I think Rosa is going to absolutely cook Eileen Perez. I've never liked Perez. I'll say this up front, so maybe I'm biased, but I don't think Perez is good. I don't. And I know people are going to bring up the Sarah McMahon fight. And it's like, oh, she got taken down there. Eileen Perez, what's Eileen Perez going to do? She's going to do that. That fight was a while ago. It was a long while ago. To be fair to Cara Rosa. Also, Sarah McMahon is a much, much, much better wrestler than Eileen Perez, even at her older age. A much better wrestler. And in that fight, she used double legs. If I remember correctly, it's double legs that she mainly used to get Cara Rosa down. Eileen Perez mainly uses body locks. How does Cara Rosa defend body locks? She's pretty good at defending them. So if Eileen Perez's best takedown is giving her trouble against Cara Rosa, Cara Rosa is good defending, I should say. She's going to be in big trouble because on the feet, it's not even close. It's Cara Rosa all day. She's going to light her up. She's going to light her up on the feet. And we know Perez slows down, and we know that Rosa amps up as more as the fight goes. Wouldn't be shocked if Cara Rosa does drop round 1. Wouldn't be shocked. But I don't even think she'll even drop round 1. I don't think so. And I think she's totally live to get a finish here. Plus 450 odds on to get a finish, either by sub or KO. I'm probably in on that. What else is there to say? I'm forgetting because I feel like there's like another big point that I want to mention. Levels difference. I think this is a step down for Cara Rosa from Panny Kionzad, if I'm being honest. I think it is. Irene Aldana for sure. Let me pull up the tape. This Norma Dumont fight was close, and I get it. It is scary to trust Rosa because she fights close, but I think she can absolutely finish Eileen Perez, and I'm willing to take the shot on it at good odds. I'm willing to take the shot on it. Yeah, I like Cara Rosa. Give it to me. Give it to me. Zach Reese versus Azamat Bekoyev. Excuse me. This fight is kind of dicey, but I'm gonna go Bekoyev. I think he wins a decision. I think he can take down Zach Reese, who's willing to get taken down. He's still very green, Zach Reese. I think if you get out of round 1, Zach Reese is not really going to be able to do much, but I think he can survive his decision. Bekoyev does it. Is a little bit of a crotch sniffer, I'm not going to lie. Wouldn't shock me if Bekoyev KOs him early, though. By all means, I wouldn't be shocked. But I think Bekoyev probably wins a boring decision, if I'm honest. Zach Reese is live. I think this guy's always going to be live for something crazy early on, like a KO or a sub, but I don't think it happens here. I think Bekoyev is going to be able to get takedowns and pretty much just ride top and do what he wants. A guy from American Top Team, I think he'll be good enough to stop the submission attempts. I think he should win. Grant Dawson versus Diego Ferreira. Yeah, I think Grant Dawson wins the decision here. Although with how Ferreira looked on the scale, scary. But I don't think CDF gets finished. Like, if I'm being honest, I think if anyone gets a finish, it's going to be CDF in my eyes. I think his submission defense is good enough to survive. But yeah, I think Grant Dawson's going to be able to get the positions he needs, get Diego Ferreira down, and be able to win in those positions. It's tough. And I will say this: don't bet Grant Dawson here. Don't do it. The time to bet Grant Dawson was his last one, and the one before that against Selecki and against Rafa Garcia. This is not the one, because this is dicey. Maybe not so much if after how CDF looked on the scale, but I'm shaky about Dawson. I do think he should win, but I'm having traumatic flashbacks of the Ron Betsky fight. I had a lot of money on Ron Betsky because I thought CDF was washed. He definitely wasn't. I thought CDF was washed after I ended up winning on him against Michael Johnson, but he looked horrible that fight. He turned back the clock, looked amazing against Ron Betsky after getting dropped. Grant Dawson's it did look like he improved on the feet in his last fight against Rafa Garcia, but you know where he wants to bread his butter, and that's where we want him to fight. But yeah, I think he can have success on the ground, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think he wins the decision. He's going to be boringish. Maybe not boring, because CDF scrambles is fun, and he's a guy who can scramble, which is why it's dicey. Don't really want to be laying the chalk on Grant Dawson. Yeah, give me Grant Dawson one decision. I will say this, though. Let me pull up my bet on that tips, because I'm very unhappy about this. Let me pull up Bet made that tips real quick, because I made an error. So you can see some bets that are coming up. Like, yeah. You see this right here. Grant Dawson, Circozio Ferreira under 2.5. I put 1.3. That's supposed to be over 2.5. If you look at my explanation for this, I think Dawson wins this fight, and I think he wins this by taking the fight long. Both these guys do have a chance to finish late, like after the 2.5 minute mark. So trying to cover avenues in that case instead of taking Dawson by decision or the fight to go the distance. I did not bet under 2.5, but maybe it's a good thing that that happened and CDF looked like how he did in the scale. But I did bet over 2.5, and I'm still running with it. So I hope that error gets changed. If it doesn't, I'm very unhappy, but whatever. Nothing I can really do about it. Just be better in the future. I only made that mistake, a similar mistake in the past with Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez, where I meant to put 0.12 units on Brian Ortega, and then it was 1.2 unit. I was like, oh, or something like that, something of that effect. I hated that. I didn't want that much on Ortega. I'm happy I listened to the weigh-in show for this one. Give me Bogdan Guskov round 1 KO. Billy has just not been training. He's not been training. I'm gonna probably bet the under 1.5. And actually already have bet the under 1.5. I think at the odds it's at, considering their circumstances that Billy Alicana is on. Yeah, I'll take it. I know he's an Uso. He's got a great chin. But in those, he's going to be killed. Bogdan Guskov's got great power. Bogdan Guskov can get chinned as well by this guy. I think this goes under 1.35 pretty likely. So, give me Bogdan Guskov to finish early. Sucky circumstances for Billy. Jelton Almeida beats... I didn't mean to do this. Jelton Almeida beats Sergey Spivak. I think he finishes him early. But I don't want to be betting him at this price. I don't have enough trust in this guy to do that. I do think he finishes him early. Gets a sub out of it. Maybe TKO. TKO is pretty possible too. But do I want to go TKO because maybe Spivak's going to be looking out for that, but now I'm going to go sub. I'm trying to think because maybe Spivak's going to do everything he can to stop the sub. I don't know. But I will get to this though. I do want to say this because I know a lot of people are super confident on Maeda. I'm not. I am not. I think if you're confident on Maeda, you should go under 1.5 because if he wins that fight, that's what's gonna look like probably. But I do have a friend of mine who's like, he's feeling Spivak and he's a good bettor. So I don't want to like let go of his word. He's on YouTube. I know him on Discord. He thinks this fight could be similar-ish to Romanov versus what's his name? Tybura. That one that happened in Salt Lake City where Romanov looked great, 10-8 round 1, but they didn't give him a 10-8. Then Tybura destroys Romanov in rounds 2 and 3 out of gas tank. He thinks this fight could be like that, and I can kind of possibly see it. I think that's low-key possible. I'm not predicting it, but if it gets out of round one, maybe put just a little sprinkle on Spivak. I'm not gonna be banging this one though. I can't. I'm not interested in it. I guess more takedowns on Maeda would be, the only bet I'll look at for this one, and all those odds are gonna be nasty as hell. Minus 1400 at minimum. Yeah, I'll take on Maeda, but I don't like it. Payne Talbot, KO Raoni Barcelos round 2. I'm going round 2 because usually Talbot does take his time to get going. I will say this though, Nick Aguirre did take down Payne Talbot. He did. If he can get takedown success on Talbot, I think Barcelos absolutely can. You cannot bet this money line. Absolutely cannot. And now that odds are out on this, I actually am curious about the rounds 2 and 3 odds for KO. It's probably gonna be nasty still. Plus 150. Not too bad. Actually, don't hate that. Barcelos is not bad by any means. I get why people like the under 1.5. Barcelos is old. Payne Talbot's been like going more ham early on in fights, but I do think there's a chance for wrestling success early on. Although the reason why I'm not like going on Barcelos is I think the physicality is just too much of a difference. It's going to be too much of a difference in a 15-minute fight. And yeah, I think as a result, Talbot's going to be able to find the finish in the later rounds. Yeah, give me Talbot. I'm rooting for Raoni, to be honest, but yeah, Talbot should be able to get a finish in like rounds 2 or 3, and I think it's going to be round 2. Next fight up, Kevin Holland versus Reiner de Ridder. I'll take Kevin Holland by KO. I have no confidence in this fight. I have a hard time finding anyone having confidence in this. Like this one and the next one, I think it's pretty crazy to have confidence in. I just think Reiner's pretty sucky on the feet, and I think he's just going to be asking to get caught. But am I trusting Kevin Holland? Hell no. Hell no. Reiner wants it probably a lot more than Kevin Holland. And you could probably get takedowns on him, but his mechanics are so weird. They're so weird. And Kevin Holland's one of those guys where it's like he's gonna lose a few, but he's definitely gonna get one win back. He's good enough. He's too good not to get like another win. And I think he can get another win after a few not so good in performances. I know he got a win against Oleksiejczuk in that time, but I feel like he's due for another win. It's not a great analysis. I think Reiner's open on the feet and he's going to get caught. But no way in hell I'm confident betting any money on this fight. Get out of here with that. I'll take Kevin Holland. Not confident at all. Yuri Prohaska versus Jamal Hill. This is such a tough fight for me. This is so tough. I hate this. I get why people are on Hill. I totally get it. And this is another one of those fights I cannot predict the life of me. Someone's probably getting hurt or this is getting fight tonight. That's what's going to happen. Early on, Jamal Hill is going to have success. So I think Prohaska early success or not. No. Jamal Hill early success is pretty likely because Yuri builds into fights. And you don't want to be getting hit by Hill, but Yuri does have a chin on him. I know people are like, maybe he doesn't have a chin after the Pereira fight. I don't know. In that Pereira fight, he had stopped Yuri Prohaska. So I think you could chalk it up a little bit to that. He looked horrible in that fight. Not fighting smart at all. Yeah, he did awful in that fight, but yeah, he was not ready for that, it seemed. But if he does get in the later rounds with Hill, I do think he can have success. Both are live to get KO'd at any second. It's whoever lands the kill shot to get the KO. I think. Oh, I hate picking this. I'm gonna go Yuri KO round 2, but for the cancer survivor, maybe he's gonna unlock ultimate power or something. But I totally get people betting Hill, especially when he was at dog odds. Totally get it. And again, whoever lands the kill shot first, Hill's gonna be the one landing probably early. He's gonna be landing big shots early. Is it a matter of getting Yuri out of there early? Does he get it out early? Does he get him out of there early? Can't speak English for some reason. I'm gonna lean towards no, but again, Hill KO round 1 is very, 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 very possible, and he absolutely can win a decision too. But I do think as the fight goes on, here he's gonna have more success, start teeing off more on Jamal Hill. I'm just gonna go with that, but I don't have much confidence in it. I'm not sure if anyone can have much confidence in it. Merab Dvalishvili versus Umar Nurmagomedov in the co-main event of the evening. I like Umar to win this fight. I'm going decision. I think he wins decision, but I think he is live to get a finish. Merab's leg looks awful, but I'm just gonna be assuming he's 100%. Probably not, but no one's really 100% going into fights, but you know what I mean. I just think Umar is gonna be too much. Let me explain why. I think on the feet, it's Umar all day. I love his kicks. I think his kicks are phenomenal. I think the takedowns of Umar, and not just the takedowns, maybe not even takedowns, the scrambles of Umar, I think his top pressure is what's going to win him this fight. And that's why I like Umar a lot here. I think Umar Nurmagomedov is going to be able to get top position and hold Merab Dvalishvili down. I think he's a better grappler and wrestler than Merab. And I think because of that, Merab's not going to be able to use his cardio and pace that's been getting him wins in these other fights. I think he's going to be able to hold Merab down. And because of that, Merab's not going to be able to use that pace on him and not get Umar tired. And that's why I like Umar a lot here. I think he can absolutely win this fight. Umar does have power. I mean, he KO'd Barcelos, but I'm not really showing that much other fights. But I do think he's got a little bit of crack in him. Even though he's not really showing it too much. Merab, not so much. So Merab's pretty decision only for the most part. Which is why I like Umar Nurmagomedov finish only a lot. That's on Bovada, it's minus 350, I'm pretty sure. Let me check real quick, because I bet it. I'm not sure if the odds moved, because I definitely bet it. Let's see. Minus 350, fight inside the distance, Umar Nurmagomedov. And like, inside the distance only where it voids if it goes to decision. That's what it means. Yeah, I don't think that I at least get my money back. At least voids. That's what I think when I'm betting that. I think Umar's gonna win this fight. I do think it leads to decision. I do think he can get a finish, but I lean towards it going to decision. And I think he could hold down Merab, be the better guy on top, and win. And Islam Makhachev, the new main event, Islam Makhachev versus Renato Moicano. Moicano wants money. He's probably getting money for taking the short notice opportunity. But I have to go Makhachev. I was going Sarukian to win this fight originally against Makhachev, and I was going Dariush to be Moicano. That was my biggest bet of the card. I was so excited because I thought Beneil was going to beat Moicano up, and I thought he was going to, if it went to the ground, I thought he'd have the better top pressure than Moicano, and be better on the feet. Islam Makhachev is so much better than Beneil. Yeah, I think Islam's gonna do what he wants to him. I'm going round 3 because I think Moicano can be able to hang in there for a little bit and like not just be like com- complete trash. And like, he's not trash. He's not trash at all. Moicano's pretty good. But man, I have very much trouble seeing Islam losing this fight because Moicano doesn't really have bonk potential or like upset potential, and like upset potential as in probably no crazy sub off his back, because if anyone's going to be on top, it's probably going to be Makhachev. On the feet, he doesn't have KO power really. Like, and maybe as a Bisping moment, and something crazy happens, I'm willing to bet against it. And if it happens, I'm gonna be happy because I love Moicano. It'd be one of the greatest upsets in UFC history. Show me the greatest upset in UFC history. Not the greatest upset. It'd be up there. But I mean, if we're concluding circumstances, this is up there though. This is pretty up there for biggest upsets in UFC history if it happens. I put up there with like Pena versus, I mean, obviously the big ones: Pena versus Nunes, Holly Holm versus Ronda Rousey, GSP versus Matt Serra. I guess you could say Strickland versus Adesanya too is a pretty big one too. Those ones. This one would be up there in like top 3 for me. Top 2, I think. Like I don't think he's beating Islam, especially with Islam who's preparing for Arman Sarukian. Like it was going to be a massive challenge for him in the wrestling. He was going to compete there. I don't think Moicano's going to be able to do it. Yeah, I think Islam probably finishes this fight. I don't think there's odds on it on Bovada. Probably is odds on DraftKings or maybe FanDuel. And no odds on this on that. Let me check DraftKings. There's an under 2.5. Oh, I don't like 2.5 because that's about the time I feel like around 3 mark is when I think the finish happens. Ugh. I don't know, but probably Islam by finish. It's going to be a disgusting number, but yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. Yeah, Islam's going to do what he wants. I like him a lot here. So if we're looking at picks, and I'm going to go over who do I like more significant strikes, more takedowns on each one. I want to say we're away from this one for more significant strikes, more takedowns. I think it could be pretty even on for these ones. Maybe more significant strikes, Clayton Carpenter. I don't know. Sopaj Tercios. I think Tercios' significant strikes is a probably pretty good look because he's gonna be landing. He's got a lot of good volume. He's got very good volume. Sopaj, not the best volume, so I think that might even be dog odds because people are expecting Sopaj to take down Tercios and hold them down. Probably Sopaj takedowns is a pretty good bet, honestly, as well. More takedowns, but I like Tercios. More significant strikes here. Renya Nakamura, more takedowns, easy. Probably more significant strikes, probably pretty likely as well for Renya Nakamura. Eileen Perez, Cara Rosa. Cara Rosa, more significant strikes all day, every day, unless she gets finished round 1 miraculously. That's not happening. Maybe more takedowns, Perez, but I wouldn't even be shocked if Rosa goes for a takedown of her own and gets it on Perez when she's gassed. So I wouldn't even touch that. Maybe Rosa, I like a tiny sprinkle of dog odds if it's pretty crazy odds. Reese Bekoev. Probably Bekoev, more takedowns. It's probably a nasty. It's going to be a nasty number though. Ugh. I don't want to bet 6 strikes on this one. Dawson Ferreira. I think Dawson probably more takedowns is pretty good because I think he's going to be the one going for takedowns here. More significant strikes. I do not want to touch that. I don't want to touch that in this fight. Guskov, Billy Elkana. I don't want to touch this one either for more significant strikes or more takedowns. I don't want to touch it. I guess Guskov if I had to pick, but no. Almeida, more takedowns. I think that's pretty safe. More significant strikes. Don't want to touch it because even Almeida doesn't need to throw that many of those. Talbot versus Barcelos. Talbot more significant strikes, very likely. Barcelos more takedowns might be okay. That actually might be okay. So maybe that. Kevin Holland versus Reiner de Ritter. I guess Kevin Holland more significant strikes. Reiner de Ritter more takedowns is probably pretty safe. I doubt Kevin Holland goes for any takedowns. Yuri Prohaska, Jamal Hill. I don't want to bet this one. Significant strikes, more takedowns. I don't want to do it. Not confident at all. Umar versus Marat. I think probably Umar more significant strikes is an all right look because Umar does a good job of not getting hit by significant strikes. So I think that's actually maybe an all right look. But the odds on that might not be so great. So do what you want. I don't want to take more takedowns because I wouldn't be shocked if Marab gets a takedown and then Umar reverses. So I think that's very possible to happen multiple times in the fight. So yeah. Islam Makhachev versus Renato Moicano. And I can't speak. Makhachev more significant strikes. That's probably going to be a better play than even his money line. Super defensive, really good at that stuff. I think Makhachev's got Moicano covered there. And again, Makhachev is huge for the weight class. Although I guess the reach difference does lean towards Moicano. I didn't really think about that, but still, again, very good defensively. And more takedowns, Makhachev. Yeah. That's how it's going to go. So, yeah. Those are my predictions for UFC 311. Super excited for this card. You can check me out at champbetsmma.com. No, not I don't even have that website anymore. Bet me that tips champ bets. You can check me out on there. Yeah. I bet a lot on Makhachev when I instantly saw the odds minus 750 on Bovada. Hopped on. I parlayed him a bunch with a lot of spots I like. We'll see how it goes. If Moicano breaks it, I'll live with losing all that money. I'll live. So yeah, I'm here. I'm here to see the greatest upset in UFC history, but I really doubt it. I think I wanted to get on that line before it moved crazy, and like maybe bet some other lines I was already looking at to begin with. That's what I ended up going with because I think it's a free parlay piece, and I think Makhachev has it's a very low likelihood it loses. Very low likelihood it loses. So yeah, those are my picks. Thank you all for watching. Peace out. See you next time.